Am I audible? Anyone just tell me, am I audible or not? Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another live Doc Talk sessions with Cafe Akla. I'm Audrey Jahajva, your moderator for today. So today our topic of discussion is how does mental health affect the elderly persons? Mental health concern becomes a mental illness when ongoing signs and symptoms cause frequent stress and affect your ability to function. A illness can make your daily life miserable and can cause problem in it, such as at your workplace and in your relationships. So today we would be having Shamalima Datta as our guest. She is presently working as a psychologist at Tata Consultancy Services. She would be joining us shortly. We would be also entertaining live questions.
Uh, can you see me? I think there's some problem with the network.
No, I can see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see you. I
Hi.
can. Hi.
Thank you. Hi. Thanks a lot for getting me here and for inviting me. I think this is my second doc
You're
talk
most
over here.
welcome.
Yeah. Yeah. So how are you and how is everyone? I hope all of them, if some of them have joined, I can see them.
Yeah.
Pink,
Some of them have joined. Yes. I'm good.
Pink.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. So it's really nice. I'm audible and you can see me, right?
Yeah. I can see you and you're audible.
Okay, okay, thanks. So let's start then with the session. Yeah, without
Yeah.
delay. Yeah. Okay,
So
okay.
today, as you know, today our topic of discussion is mental health. How
Yeah,
does mental health affect the elderly persons?
exactly.
So I have tried giving an introduction to the topic. Anything that you want to add?
Yeah, so I heard the introduction from your end, so it was quite good. So yes, that is what it said that in elderly, the effect of mental health and the negative effect of, emotional issues can be really more because as it is, our brain is not able to, withstand a lot of stress as we age. And that's why we need counseling sessions and that's why we need therapy. Therapy is really important in the elderlies, right? So it's known as geriatric counseling also, as it's commonly the word is used, and it is really important. Mental health is really important in elderly. It is important in every age group, but it is more important, I guess, in the elderly population more. So yes, so yeah. So that's how you added the symptoms and all also, and that is also a very good introduction that was. Yeah, tell me.
Thanks. So we have a set of questions for you.
Yes,
Should I
yes,
go
yes.
ahead with them?
Yes. And I welcome all the audience. I can see Amartya Mukherjee, Asmita Sarkar, Pinku Mukherjee, all of you. Thanks for joining. Yeah. Please go ahead. Yeah.
So starting with the first question.
For sure.
Due to the busy schedule of elderly person, some mental health issues remain unaddressed. How can we, what can we do in that case?
Okay, so one thing is that we need to understand the symptoms, right? So there are many symptoms that can come, like for example, loss of interest, every in the everyday activities, right? And in elderly, what happens is they've just retired, right? They are leading a retired life. They are not maybe, or they are just post retirement. Okay, their children have gone out of home. It's an empty nest syndrome that is called, so they are alone at home, so they might not have that kind of social support, they feel lonely, right? So if these symptoms are there present in them, for example, they are very lonely, or they are feeling anxious about their future, then thoughts of death is coming a lot, because you're proceeding towards death, right? That is a very harsh truth, but it is a fact. So some people feel obsessed with the symptoms of death, like what will happen when I die, or who will take care of me when I age. Like for example, these days kids, children are away from their parents, right? So they are not very near, so they don't have that. Sometimes these days they don't have much connection also, like children are so busy with their every life. And I would give a personal example here. So there was a client I had recently. It was a very tragic thing that happened. My client was very busy with his uh, everyday life, like he was doing his office work, and also his father used to tell him that please come and talk to me, like I need to discuss something, but he could not manage. And one fine day he saw that his father had committed suicide. So that was something very tragic, so he felt guilty about it. But I feel that if he would have taken that step, I know that it's not good to blame someone, I know that it was his, he tried his best, but if things were very, you knew about the mental health, you could have saved his father. So these, in these ways you can, so if you feel, as you said, the symptoms and how we can address it. So if you find any elderly, or our audience here, if you see that our parents or any elderly in our neighborhood is feeling lonely, they want to talk, and you can just understand from their, if they have bouts of crying, or they feel that there's no meaning in living, so you should take it very seriously. Yeah, so that's how. Yeah. So can we go further? I hope this addresses the answer. Yeah, question. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the second question is, nowadays everyone, almost starting from the teenagers to the middle-aged person to the elderly person, everyone is suffering from some or the other mental illness. So my question to you is that what is the main mental illness that the older elderly persons are suffering?
Yeah, so older, see the major mental illness, one is depression. Okay, now depression is something which is there across the age groups, but depression can be really serious and severe in in the elderly, because what happens is, as I said, that lots of changes occur in the in the lives of life of an elderly person, right? For example, as I said, retirement happens, they're not going to office anymore, right? There's a change in their lifestyle, right? And the parents are also not sorry, the kids are not there at home, the social circle change all of a sudden, then their friends are some of them expire, right? Or it happens, right? For example, my friend died, or some heart attack. Sometimes diseases cripple you, right? Some people might develop diabetes, or any severe illness, physical illness that might affect. So these things actually affect a lot of the effect. There's a very detrimental effect on the lives of the person. So depression is a very important thing, and anxiety is one other thing. Like, so in anxiety, see, depression and anxiety are quite comorbid, they're synonymous, in the sense that in anxiety what happens, that they feel anxious about the future, as I said, that what will happen, what if my kids don't look after me, what if they desert me, right? Lots of questions come in the mind. And social life is not there. If an elderly doesn't have a social life, a lot of people these days, we see people are socializing, but if someone is very lonely, right, so that can trigger anxious symptoms, right? So anxiety and depression can be identified again with these symptoms, like, loss of interest in everyday life. They are feeling very depressed about everything in the world, right? And then if there's looking at some more negative news, like there's so much of negativity these days, even in the news, like the violence that's going on, lots of hatred portrayed. So, that can affect. So, it's better that, if such symptoms are there, then they should address it. Either they should share it with their loved ones, with their kids, and children are always there, right? So children should make it a point to be in touch with their parents and, keep on asking them that, how are you? Things are fine or not, like, so that they don't feel unloved, or they don't feel that, oh, nobody's there with us. That is the main thing. Yeah. Somebody commented, keep going. Thank you so much. You're liking the session. Yeah. Ha ha ha.
To the comment, very lightly said.
Right. So yeah. So we'll go ahead with the next
Yeah, yeah.
question.
So
Hmm.
third question is, as you mentioned, that depression is now very common in
Hmm.
everyone. A very
Right.
common mental illness that we all are suffering through. So what are
Right.
the factors that influences depression?
Yeah. So as I said in my previous answer also, factors, there are several factors, changes in lifestyle. One is that. Then one is that when mental health issues are not addressed, like, sometimes if it starts like there's some very mild symptoms sometimes. We feel that it's just like, normal sadness, but it is actually not. It is not a normal sadness. It's something sometimes. So if it is continuous and we are ignoring it, so it will trigger, it will, go to in the more severe direction, right? And then after changes in lifestyle is one more. Then of course, if there is a lack of social bonding, right? There's no friendships, or they are not very interactive earlier, they're very lonely, right? So that can affect a lot. Then if there is no communication, there's a communication gap with the family members, right? As I said, as I described this case with the man who committed suicide, there was a communication gap with the family member, right? They did not know only that something is happening. So that ways, that triggers. These are the major factors. There are several others also. For example, physical illness, as I had mentioned, right? You can develop a lot of physical negative physical traits, like, diabetes happens. Then sometimes some people develop heart conditions sometimes, right? And then some people have a lot of eyesight gets weak, right? So they don't know how to go about their task. And then of course your physical mobility, it is declining every day, right? You cannot walk properly, you cannot go from one room to other. And earlier you compare yourself, in my younger days I used to do this, now I can't do this. So that's also crippling thing to happen, right? So if you're not accepting your age, like, that you're aging, aging also has to be accepted. So then that also, gives a very negative impact on the brain, and then eventually it leads to depression. So it should be addressed head on in the beginning itself. Yes. Yeah. So
So
yeah.
the older people, almost I have seen all the older people are very, means they always get irritated very easily. They get angry very
Right.
easily. So
Yes, yes,
how yeah, these are the reason I always see my grandfather being angry, getting irritated in everything that I say, and
yes, yes.
because they are getting dependent on others, and they are not they
Right.
are unable to accept the fact that they are getting old day by day.
Yes. So basically, what is happening is they're unable to accept the changes in their life. So, see, what we can do is that we can provide some kind of psychological support, right? That, okay, if he's getting irritated, you take a stance, you be patient. Sometimes what happens is we lack patience with elderly, right? Oh, why is he always getting irritated? We are feeling like, we also feel irritated that he's like that only, why is he doing this? So if we are patient with them and we talk to them properly, like what happened, make them understand. So that understanding, if you show it to them, they will themselves talk to you. they will properly talk to you, and they will tell you what is going on, and what is there. So if you even spare 15-20 minutes every day, or half an hour every day, so that also makes their day, because there's no one around them to look after them or talk to them. Everybody's so busy these days, right? Specifically, we youngsters are always busy with our friends, partying and whatnot. We have so much of things lined up. Yeah,
That's true. So,
yeah.
how can we deal with delusional disorders?
Yeah, so delusional disorders, basically they develop mostly, like it develops in every age group, but elderlies have this this major thing. Okay, so in delusional disorders, see what the psychotherapy really helps in disorder. So if somebody, you feel that they are having delusions, right, like in dementia is very common in elderlies, right? So common thing is this Alzheimer's, right? So when Alzheimer, there are lots of several types of dementia. Alzheimer's is the most common. So what happens that time, you develop delusions and hallucinations as well. So if you're developing hallucinations, right? So if you're developing delusions, if you have a you are thinking something in your mind which is not there, right? So that is basic. So what happens is, you need to first analyze if this is happening very frequently. Okay, this starts very in a very small way, like repeating things, right? Not talking properly, or forgetting what I said, like that, what they said. So what happens is, this then progresses. So if you feel that this is progressing in a very negative way, then it is a good that you take them to a psychologist, who will first analyze that what is exactly happening. And then through therapy, that is psychotropic drugs, that is through psychiatric medication and counseling, both helps in delusional disorder. So one thing alone does not help, both the things are very important. So if you take them to a psychologist or psychiatrist, it really gets cured. And at home, you should be patient. What we can do in everyday lives with them is that we be patient with them. If they're forgetting things, they might get confused, we can tell them that, don't, it's okay to get confused, we will figure it out. So giving hope to them, that is very important in delusional disorders. So it's important in everything, but delusion is something which they have not not gone properly into it, no. So that is the negative thing that happens. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. So I think that addresses this.
Tension and all those.
Yeah, so it can relate up. So basically, these things are triggered because there's lots of everyday tension, as I said, as you also said, that everyday tensions are there. Then they are curious about their future, right? Sorry, but I think there's no cure for dementia or Alzheimer's, isn't it? Yes, there is no cure as such, but yes, the medication can slow it down. Like, if you give your medication properly, if you take your medication properly, it can slow down the process, and the person can have a long and I won't say it would be a very peaceful life, but still, it's better than not getting treated. So yes, there is no absolute cure for dementia, Alzheimer's. It's a progressive disorder, as they say. So it is progressing. Like for example, 1 year it is right, then next is not. Yeah. All right. Yes. So I think that addresses the question of Pinku Mukherjee. Yes. Yeah.
Continuous
Yeah.
process is important. Continuous psychotherapy is important.
Yes. In this process, psychotherapy is important. See, medication is very important, definitely. You cannot do it without medication. And psychotherapy is an added process to it, right? So these both the things can work wonder on the mind. That is wonders in the sense it can elongate. For example, if it is the progressive disorder, it's going to harm you in 1 year, it will still take time to progress, but it will progress. So the acceptance has to be there with the family members. This is not going to go back or reverse. So that is a very sad scenario to look at your own loved ones going through it. but it's very, so I feel I would like to add here that we can prevent this at our young age itself by doing, these puzzles, crossword puzzles, not to depend too much on gadgets. Like we depend on Alexa these days for everything, right? Close the, switch off the lights, Alexa, switch on the light, Alexa, make this call, Alexa. We are not using our brains, right? So this thing can affect a lot. So although, it is a very convenient thing, Alexa is very convenient, and then these gadgets are very convenient these days. So it's better if we use lesser of these and we use our brains more. That is very
Yes.
important. Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Uh,
So,
so my last
can
question is,
right, right. Sure, sure. Please ask.
so what are some of the challenges in the delivery of mental health services for the elderly?
Yes, so delivery of mental health in the elderly is very important because there are the challenges that come is one thing we don't want to acknowledge. Sometimes the family members don't acknowledge that, there is a problem, right? And sometimes the elderly themselves don't feel, they feel that no, nothing is wrong with me because it's very negative. And then another thing is there's a taboo in the society, which I feel is very wrong, but it is still there. Or not only in India, it's there around the world, but here in India, it is more, I feel, because people generally are not used to going to a psychologist or a counselor. And people generally question you, ki, oh, you've gone crazy or mad or what, you're going to a counselor like that, or a psychologist or a psychiatrist. So these are the major things that are then mental health is not given too much of importance by the government as well. I think government also needs to allocate more resources to the mental health arena. They feel that it is something which can be neglected, but although things are changing, people are making efforts. Like your channel is also making efforts, like getting to people. And even I personally feel that even I also generally try to, whoever comes, across, whoever I come across, I talk to people, so I tell them about the importance. So if you do it on a ground level, I think we can do it properly. So that ways, yeah. So these are the challenges, but I think we can overcome it with time. So we should be positive about the future, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So as
yeah,
you said that it's a taboo in India to go to a psychologist. Everybody thinks that we are either crazy or mad. So
right.
how can we convince our elders that mental health is really important and you should actually do a checkup, or you should consult a psychologist for to
Hmm.
see that, to actually solve your own problems and to see if you're having any mental illness or not? How can we actually convince them? Because it's very tough to convince our elders.
Yeah, see, it is tough, but it is not. See, it won't happen in a day. If you're like, for example, you said you have your grandfather. For example, if you want to take him, so you can tell him the symptoms. You can just discuss with him, or these days YouTube videos and all are there. You can show him some examples, like if he's not convinced with that also, then every day you need to first tell him, make him feel that it is normal. Like see, what happens is our first reaction always comes is that it's an abnormal thing to go to a psychologist, right? So you just make them feel normal, that okay, it is okay to visit them, and not to what happens is sometimes people get angry and say you should go to a psychologist, you've gone crazy, like "tumhe pagal ho gaye ho tum," like that, people say that. So don't make such remarks, and it won't happen in a day, like, or day or two. It will take some time. So even if it takes 1 month, 2 months, so gradually, people, they do get convinced. Or you can tell them that okay, just let's go for a visit. Like you don't have to do anything. Just see, if you don't want to continue further, it's okay. Like that, we can convince them that way. No. Yes. Yeah. So that ways you can convince.
Okay.
Anyone from here who wants more questions? I think no, Pinkum Mukherjee, she asked. Thanks for asking. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, please
If
go ahead.
any of our viewers are having any question related to this topic, they can go ahead and ask us.
Yes. I think currently, yeah. no issues. What they can do is that if they have any issue even after they watch this video, they can drop in the comment section and we can address it late. I can only address it later on in the channel itself
Right.
in your group. Okay. And if they want to reach out to me, they can always reach out to me through my email and through my phone. So it's always there. So if any consultation, anything they want, they can come to me. And I hope we have more further sessions so we can enlighten more, people
Yes.
about these issues. Yeah. So it was
Lastly,
very
anything
nice.
that you add to the topic?
Yes, I think we have majorly covered everything, all the topics. So I think, but what I feel is that we should have a positive mindset and never get, disheartened that why am I facing this? What is happening? Or even if some elderly is there who needs help, we should be ready to help them. Not only our own family members, but if there is someone around us who needs help, we can also and also we should not make them feel lonely. We should talk to them, understand them like that. So these things can prevent. So it's prevention is better than cure. So I think we should prevent such things itself, right? So if we make them feel loved and show affection, express affection, these things won't come. So, and even if they come, we should face it, in a bold manner.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. So I think this ends the session, right? Was the
Yes.
last
We have
question.
today's session.
Yeah.
Thank you for your precious time. It was pleasure having you here today.
Thank you, and you were a good moderator. And thanks for everyone here who came. Some people have left also, so it's okay. All of them who have joined or joined earlier, thanks for coming and for the questions as well. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Bye bye.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night. Good night, all of you. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. You can disconnect from your end because I think I'm not
Yes. Yes.
able to. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you everyone for being such a lovely audience. I hope the session was informative for you all and we could hold your interest. Don't forget to follow Cafe Akla at Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Bye bye. Good night.